Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I want to say thank you to Zach and Sunny for having me. I am so grateful for that. And to start, I want you all to remember that feeling of frustration when we are resolving a programming challenge and nothing works, right? I finished talking with my cat about the problem and what could be the solution, but she never answered me. But we also know that feeling of happiness when we found the error and we solve the problem, right? Because we are happy solving problems. And today, don't worry, be happy, because we are going to learn about NestJS, a great framework for the architecture problem and how it is implementing the best concept of Angular. And I want to clarify that NodeJS doesn't have an architecture problem, but it can be a headache for us, especially if you're starting with Node. So I want to say hello again and introduce myself. I am Laura Ciro. I work as software developer at Juxi Global, and I really love cats. And you can find me at Twitter at LTCiro. I am from Colombia. I'm talking about solving problems. And in Colombia, we are working very hard trying to give Colombia another story that we have seen in series and TV series. So the community tech in Colombia are doing a great conference, and I want to tell you about that. We have, obviously, an Angular conference. It's NG Colombia. It's the first conference of Angular in Latin America. We also have JSConf Colombia. It's the largest JavaScript JSConf conference in Colombia. We also have NodeConf and .NET Conf, ScaleConf, and RubyConf. I help with the organization of JSConf. If you have any questions, I can help you. And I am also organizer of Pioneras Dev. Pioneras Dev is a community for women and try to involve more women in tech, given tools like knowledge, resource, and allies network. And the most important thing, a safe place to express themselves and increase their confidence. So continuing with the challenge, I want to tell you one that I have the last year and was create an application in Node from scratch. And I know people here that who work or have knowledge what is NodeJS. But for those who still don't know it, NodeJS allows us to create a JavaScript application in the server side. And so we can create APIs or embedded system microservice with JavaScript. And we choose Node.js because we needed to make use of the event loop of JavaScript that helps us with asynchronous transactions that don't make much use of the reading machine. And I have some knowledge about Node.js. However, I was afraid because I didn't know how to start. And if you don't know what to do, just stop and breathe. It seems silly, but it's work, and it's something important to do in our lives. And then when I calm down, I do an exercise with 3 questions. The first is identify the problem. My question is, what is scaring me about it? And the second one is find an approach. What could help me to handle it? And the last one is validate the approach, what makes me happy and approach does. So my first question was, what scared me about this new challenge? And the answer was, obviously, I didn't want to create a Frankenstein code because since there was no official resource that Node have to give us a standard way to create large and scalable application, I was afraid to start to read them from different parts and get different advice to create an application in Node and end up creating a Frankenstein code. So the next question was what could help me handle those fears? And with the problem in mind was architecture, I started looking for what could help me. And in that research, I found NestJS. And NestJS is a great framework with many interesting things created by Camille. Camille will be talking tomorrow. You can miss it. And, well, what offers me NestJS? NestJS has many things that we have already worked with in Angular, like TypeScript, all the power of the observable with RxJS, and the most important, scalability concepts from Angular. And how can we create an application of NestJS? NestJS has a great CLI, and you can install it by the command npm install-g add nest/CLI. And then you can create a new project with the command nest-new, and then the name of the project. When you run that command, it creates an app structure like this one. And for now, the most important file is main.ts. The main.ts is the main entry point of your application, and here compiles the application. So as you can see, we have some imports of NestJS core and NestJS common, and we have an import of the app modules. In the app module, we have the part of the code that we need in our application. And then in the bootstrap function, you can see it's creating the context of the application with the information of the app module. So what is the module? The modules, when you start a project, you're always thinking where put the files. Like, should I create them all in a single folder, or should I separate them? But how, right? Modules allows us to create or to think in our code like filters or domains. So it allows us to organize our code by filters. For example, we can have a module of users with, that has the logic for delete, create, and update users. And users also have, can have authentications, but authentication itself has many logic, like handle the password and handle the security of the password and handle the sections, right? So we can create another module with authentication logic, and then we can define the relationship between users and authentication. We can also have a message module or clients module. So as in Angular, when we create a module, we have this structure. We have a folder with the module clients, and then we have a file with the client.modules. And the client's file have this structure. Let's use the decorator to recognize that this class is a module. And inside the decorator, we can import all the modules that our module needs and get the providers that the modules provide me. And we can also declare all the logic that are inside the module, like controllers and providers. And we also can export the providers that other modules can use from my module. So what is the controllers? The controllers are responsible for receiving all requests made by a front-end application or other application from anywhere in the world. Here we define our routes and endpoints to access to our application. For example, if we want get a route this way, get HTTP localhost 3000/clients. You can see that the route, in this case, is clients. So we will create a controller like this one. If you can see, it's very similar to the Angular syntax. And again, with the controller decorator, NestJS recognizes that this class is a controller. And inside the decorator, we have the global route. In this case, it's clients. And here we can see another great functionality that is similar to Angular. It's dependency injection. With dependency injection, you can instantiate other service in your class. And then you have a decorator verb to define the endpoint. And then you have the method. And in the method, you return the observable response to the client. And something interesting here, if you notice, the observable doesn't have the subscription, right? Because NestJS itself is able to handle the response of the controller. It can handle promise, observable, a string, and objects. So in this case, NestJS itself is doing the subscription, getting the data, and return the data to the client. If we want this route, get HTTP localhost 3000/client/Laura to get one client of our database. We have the route of clients, and then we have a dynamic parameter called Laura. In this case, it's Laura. And so in our controller, we already know that the global route of the controller is clients at the top, right? So in this case, the new method, the new endpoint that we create has the rest of the route. And to define dynamic parameters is with 2 points. And we also have this amazing thing is other decorator that can get that param of the name. And we also have providers. Providers it's like almost all the logic of our application. It can be like service, and it's very similar to Angular service. We have a decorator module, decorator injectable, sorry, and we have a constructor, and then we have all the methods that the service needs. So we already have an idea of how to organize our projects by modules, and inside the modules, we have controllers and service and other files. So, but Nest gives us much more tools to have a better organization in our code and to maintainability and reuse our code. In this case, it have uncoupled code of blocks. And the first one is middlewares. Middlewares in NodeJS is using almost for all things, are using for everything, like validate users, transfer the data, and among others. But let's separate these all concepts with a single responsibility, and they have also filter exceptions. Filter exceptions are responsible to handle the errors that happen in our application, and return error, custom error to the client. We also have, like in Angular, we have guards. This is like responsible for manage the logic that we can access to the route or controller. And we also have pipes. Pipes has 2 functions in NestJS, is parsing the data and validate the data. And the last one is interceptors. Interceptors is a great functionality of NestJS. Interceptors can be executed before the request arrives to the controller, and after the method finish to execute it. And this is helpful to profiling application in nodes. Profiling is like, take a look how long an action takes place. These all functionalities are pieces of code that can be called from any part of our code. And we can add it, chain it, and remove it without major problem. And here in the picture, we are using a war class for all roads. And we are using an interceptor login for all roads. But we also can use it for only one route. In this case, it's interceptor profiling for the route that have the dynamic parameter. And so far, we only seen a Nest-oriented to REST API. But NestJS had to be platform agnostic, and it can be, we can develop an application oriented to microservice, WebSockets, and GraphQL. Also, another great thing of NestJS is that Nest makes use of the most popular libraries in NodeJS, and even Nest create dedicated modules to avoid all the boiler part of the configuration of the settings of the libraries, and allows us to code much faster. Among of those modules are Passport and GWT, and Swagger for API documentations, and for database is Mongoose and Typeform. So another thing, so the other question was why Nest makes me happy. It's because it allows us to create a functional and a scalable application faster. And in that process, it encouraged me to learn design architecture partners like domain-driven design and others. Another great thing is that Nest is growing really fast. And now, for example, we have schematics like in Angular. And I wrote like this week that have an integration with NX and XSplit. And for example, with a schematic, we have these schematics, class, controller, decorator, exceptions. And we also have a schematic for library, interface, resolver for GraphQL. And we have a schematic for configurations. And we can create our own schematic to be more productive in our code. With NX integration, NX gives us a workspace to create various applications in a same project or in a same space. So we can have application of Node, an application of Angular, and we can share code between them. So how we create an application application of NestJS in NX workspace with this command, ngg node-app, then the name of the app, and then we define the framework. In this case, we want to choose NestJS. So we can have, with NX workspace, we can have something like this. We can have an in the same folder an application of Node for the back, and we have an Angular application for the front end. And in the libs folder, we can share code between them. We can share code between a front end application and a back application. And the last thing that makes me happy are kittens, of course. And NestJS has kind of logo. The logo is kind of a cat, so it makes me happy. And they have some examples with cats. So I choose NestJS for the cats. Here is some results. If you want to look at. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to me. And the last thing, I brought dulce de leche from Colombia. And if you want to try it, make a tweet. Thank you to the organization of the ngAtlanta with this hashtag. And I will choose a winner, and I will go to tomorrow. Yeah, I will give you. So thank you so much. You are amazing.
I love dulce de leche. I really hope I win, because I really love it.
Is there a way we can bribe you just to be the winners? Or?
I have stickers, T-shirts.
Yeah, we have
anything.
some stuff. Wow, yeah. Node makes me happy as well. Well, you got your mic on your chest, so it should be okay.
Hola. ¿Sí me escucha? Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay. Sorry?
Yeah, no, just NodeJS makes me happy as well. So it was great seeing you walk us through your journey of learning, and I think that was a great way to kind of tell the story of and why Nest is great. So.
Yeah, Nest helped me a lot to start in Node, and it was a short road to Angular from Node.js, and it helps me to be like a full stack developer more easy. So I really love that.
That's awesome. And I mean, I was blown away. The community in Colombia is just continuing to grow. So thank you for sharing that and helping with that too. So
I hope you visit us.
Oh yeah,
you all.
There was even Jared, one of my colleagues, and he works at Netflix as well. He's pinging me, so he's like, "We're gonna go to Colombia right away." So yeah, that would be nice. You'll have to.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me.
I mean, Jared invited me.
That's
I don't
not
know.
cool at
Yes.
all. I'm having to work with Jared.
Yeah, so you can talk with him. I don't know.
But thank you again. I don't want to stop people from happy hour. That was a great talk about modularity and things that just we don't think of as developers. So thank you for coming all the way up here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to all of
your
you.
second flight. And it was here.
In my life.
Right on.
Wow.
I'm glad you chose Atlanta and coming to hang out with us. That was great.
Yeah, thank you to all of you for having me here. I'm so happy and grateful, and this experience is amazing for me. I am learning a lot.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.